Contemporary jazz, which kind of hit smooth jazz, which is synonymous, but it's the wrong concept and the wrong perception because smooth jazz has been polluted. But contemporary jazz is really more a description of how jazz is moving forward in 2011 and beyond.
The emergence of contemporary jazz highlights another phase of the evolution in the jazz genre. Classical jazz, which began as a uniquely American musical art form, has now developed into a platform for a new music. One that carries the foundations of straight-ahead jazz but blends it with fusion, R&B, and even pop music to create contemporary jazz. A fresh, new, and exciting music that continues to evolve.
Let me give you a definition. No one's really ever had a definition of contemporary jazz. Contemporary jazz, I would say, would be jazz improvisation, jazz chord progression, the combination of jazz and R&B.
The label contemporary jazz is a term for marketing. So is the label jazz. Bird didn't call his music jazz when he started it out. Any music that's actually new and innovative starts out free of labels.
Contemporary jazz is an offspring of straight-ahead classical jazz. The music incorporates the roots of early jazz innovators like Louis Armstrong, Coltrane, Monk, and Miles Davis. But at the same time, it pushes jazz into an uncharted spaces as a new group of jazz innovators begin to emerge.
We can talk about contemporary jazz as a point in a lineage that dates back to traditional jazz, which you can say the Charlie Parker and Count Basie, Dizzy Gillespie, Duke Ellington, those guys, and how that evolved as it fused with other musics that were coming into our culture.
The history of jazz kind of started in New Orleans when it was kind of an eclectic mix of African, European, and a variety of different cultures blending together. What evolved out of that was an incredible musician called Louis Armstrong. Louis kind of developed the whole concept of just letting an individual instrument improvise in a band setting. So moving forward, we went through ragtime, big band. Known as bebop. In bebop, Charlie Parker and Dizzy kind of broke away from the big band era, and they brought everything down to, instead of different segments of bands, to basically 4 or 5 people. And bebop was kind of the precursor to jazz. Charlie Parker created his own band, and in that band, selected this incredible young musician out of St. Louis called Miles Davis. And Miles joined the band, and then they had this thing in New York, and they created what's now called classical jazz. Miles then created this at the era of the cool. He joined together with Bill Evans, who's a great composer, and with a muted trumpet just created this whole new vibe.
You hear the sounds of Miles Davis in pretty much everything that you hear right now that's labeled contemporary jazz. From the era of Miles in the 80s, especially, when he coined the new innovations in the jazz realm, fusing it really with pop music at that time.
jazz incorporates influences from both old and new music. You can still hear the mark of the cool that Miles Davis left on many a young horn player. It can be noted that Miles was covering Cyndi Lauper and Michael Jackson songs by the 1980s, giving jazz back some of the dance rhythms it had lost after the big band era. Contemporary jazz is built on this tradition, with some artists taking advantage of this space in new and innovative ways.
Modern art music, what we call contemporary jazz, is going to become more danceable. It's going to become more rhythm-oriented and more groove-based, but then also develop compositionally to the point where it can be truly artistic and truly innovative and fuse those two ideas. So people can come to a raving dance party and hear music that will blow your mind intellectually and historically and culturally. And clubs are going to play that. It's going to be a live band playing to a dance crowd, playing to a crowd that is moving to the music, even in smaller clubs. And that culture is going to grow and thrive.
Contemporary jazz is creating a hip, updated progression in the jazz genre. The music is drawing a younger listener that is forward-thinking in style and trends. Many are those who have graduated from hip-hop as they mature and are looking for a new vibe. Contemporary jazz is quickly becoming their music of choice. It is the new hip and the new cool. Miles would be proud.